Hi, it's Carolyn from PlumbingSupply.com, and today we're going to talk about one of the easiest ways to connect copper pipe, SharkBite Fittings. SharkBite Fittings, if you've never heard of them before, are basically a push-to-fit fitting, which means that really all you have to do to connect this to your pipe is push it on. Now, of course, it's a little bit more complicated than that. To make sure that you're getting a really good seal with this type of fitting, you're going to want to make sure that your copper stub out, or whatever pipe you're working with, has been properly cut and de-burred first. The way that these fittings work is using an O-ring and teeth mechanism. If you look closely, you can see in there's a bunch of little teeth. That's what's going to grip the pipe, and the O-ring in there is going to help create the seal. So to start off with, you're going to want to grab one of these little handy deburring and depth gauge tools. Most of the fittings for SharkBite require that you have a minimum amount of pipe sticking out to make sure the seal is proper. So you're going to want to make sure, first of all, that you have enough sticking out to fit the fitting. So you're going to put it all the way in there. And then you want to deburr it. And basically you just turn that, and if you can see, the small hole there is shaving away any rough edges of the copper. Once that's all cleaned, like we showed you before, you just have to push the fitting on and it's sealed. One of the best things about SharkBite fittings is that there's such a wide variety. You need to cap off a pipe? In caps. You need to reduce the pipe size? Reducing tees. They have ball valves and even push fit temperature gauges to make it really easy for you to add a gauge wherever you need. They have pressure gauges like this. You just connect it onto your pipe and you're done. They even have flexes, which makes water heater installation, or just if you need to replace the flex on your water heater, super easy. It's a DIY job, and you don't have to stress out and spend tons of time and money trying to figure out what size connections you need, getting a plumber in there. Push it on and go. You're done. The only tricky part about using SharkBite fittings is getting them off. One of the advantages to them is that they're reusable, which means you can take it off and put it back on a different pipe or wherever you need, which makes them great for temporary repair jobs, but they are also a permanent solution. They have been rated for use behind walls, so you can feel confident, even if you can't necessarily see them all the time, that the connection is going to hold. But if you do a lot of jobs with SharkBite fittings, or if you're doing a lot of temporary repair jobs, or you're capping something off, the great thing is you don't have to solder it. You can just pop it off and use it again somewhere else. Now, to get your SharkBite fittings off, you're going to need a special tool. Because of the way that the teeth and O-rings hold these fittings in place, you can't just pull them off. I could pull this all day long. It's not coming apart. So they have demount clips. These are the least expensive option for removing your SharkBite fittings, but they are also very hard to use. So you'll fit the demount clip over the pipe, and then you'll push to release the fitting. Now, these can be handy, but if you're like me and you don't have a lot of hand strength, this requires a lot of hand strength to use. So we do have an easier option. These demount tongs are very easy to use, and they're great if you're going to be working with a lot of SharkBite fittings, or if you just don't have the hand strength to be able to use the clips. And all you do is slide them over like that and squeeze, and you see how that seal right there flattened, and pull the fitting off or the pipe out. Super easy and well worth the investment, especially, like I said, if you're going to be using SharkBite fittings a lot or you've got a really big project. So there you have it, SharkBite fittings, a super easy, super convenient way to connect copper pipe without a lot of guesswork and without having to know how to solder. I'm Carolyn from PlumbingSupply.com. Thanks for watching.